I just want to say that it is always a huge honor when someone, comes to me here in the community and they say that they want to come back for a second installment. Quite frankly, Troy, I wish that more of my guests have taken me up on this. We should be doing this more often. A lot of times people make second and third and fourth appearances on any podcast. So thank you. I think this is at least your second time here. And I just wanted to say that the thing that you said to me on WhatsApp about the fact that Aaron's opinion was the gateway for your success. I thank you for one. That really touched me, man. So, what's going on? It sounds like you're very successful these days. I want you to talk about for as long as you want because people already remember who you are. So, this is kind of a getting into it where I just want you to dive right into the main course here of your
Mhm.
book, the TV show. I want you to start at the middle and then anywhere else we'll take it, we'll talk about other stuff. But I want you to really, really sell the book and the TV show. So what's going on, Troy? How have you been, by the way?
So I've been extremely good. This year, honestly,
That's
has
good.
been quite. Uh, it's been quite a quandary. There's been so much mystery and intrigue for me as a person more than an artist or a creative. Uh, I've I've started back in March. I came on this app called Clubhouse, and um, this was after I had already been on this show, and I had had some months of hunting for apps to compose with, and I already started on working on my katana piece, and literally like the confidence that I got after being on the show exploded exponentially, and I've continued to be the composer that I've always wanted to be. But I've also taken up other mantles as well. I've become a spoken word artist. I've become a pianist. I now play the Chinese erhu along with my cellos. I even have a blue cello, which was not easy to find. I wasn't even looking for the blue cello at the time. I was looking for an electric violin, and I happened to come across this blue cello, and I was like, "Oh, you've got to be mine! You're my favorite color. It's this. This is meant to be." Um, and as in regards to book and TV, I've always been a writer, and I'm pretty sure I've said this on here too, because when I started composing, I started composing themes for my book characters like Katana, Deimos, Bellavere, Cassidy Kitsune. But now I'm actually launching this Kickstarter to raise funds for the publication of my first children's series. And the children's series is called Planting a Seed. And the first book is called The Tale to Tell. And I always say that the series is unlike any other children's series that anyone has ever read because in this series, I go into the realm of creativity to the utmost fullest, and I compare it or make similes and innuendos and metaphors and other kinds to everyday life. And the point of that is it's because I want to give the gift of knowing that as a person who has struggled, who has gone through the ringer and come out again on top, you your children, your nieces, your nephews, teachers, everyone can always wake up and say, today's going to be a good day. You can change your mindset on what you are as a person. You're completely able to look deep inside of yourself and say, "I love you. I honor you. You are me. Everything is right about me. Everything is right about you." Uh, and the first book, A Tale to Tell, is where you meet this one of the many beautiful characters, which are called Funky Eye Puppets. And the Funky Eye Puppets is created by my mentor, my director, my friend, IPC or I Paint Creatures. And he is a phenomenal poet, multi instrumentalist. He's a world class spoken word artist, a world class painter. Um, he's brilliantly talented. He has worked for the legendary George Lucas, in Lucasfilms. He's worked on Star Wars. He's worked on Indiana Jones. He's created video games. He's worked for Apple. He's worked closely with Steve Jobs. Like he's an icon. He's like the icon that I accidentally ran into. It's like that moment where Tina Gould met Hans just by Hans watching one of her YouTube videos. That's how it has been for me. And he is creating this TV series, which are called The Blinky Eye Puppets. And all of us, from Kabuki, which is my character, to Juniper, to Lemonade, Vibrato, Funk, all of us are different aspects of beauty, and what we're called are yokai. And traditionally, when you think of yokai, you think of the Japanese or Chinese yokai. But my director, IPC, has changed that viewpoint and modernized them into being everyday art. So, if you look at a painting, that could be a yokai. If you find a cello or a violin or a piano, those could be yokai. And the creation of all these things is through what's called the Atomicon. And this is a creature who is the actual force of the yokai spirit realm. And when the Atomicon self-destructs because he has taken too much human greed and lust and envy and all the foul emotions that we have, the yokai realize that, we have to create a new realm. We have to create a whole new world. So when they do, they create this realm called 96542. But when they all go over there, they forget the music. And as we all know, music is very, very, very important in life. But, we always find music everywhere. And that's when my character, Kabuki, manifests for the first time, because he was just a feeling, he was a spirit. Just like the Atomicon, he was a force to be reckoned with. But when he manifests, he brings in all the instruments in creation, not just cellos, violins, but drums, microphones, turntables, everything, and manifests into a musical mech or machine, kind of like a cousin of the Transformers. And one of the beautiful things about Kabuki is that everyone who looks at him sees something different. So whereas I might see my cello, you might see a microphone or a guitar. And one of the most powerful things about this realm is that there is no war, there is no poverty, there is no hate, there's no anger or rage or anything. There's just nothing but beauty. And that's what they all chant. And that's what you find within the Kabuki books is musically, you find how to find the music within yourself, how to find the creative within yourself, whether that is being the best lawyer you can be, or that's the next Albus Dumbledore, or that's the next Hermione Granger. No matter what you set your mind to, these books preach that. They help you find that beautiful, wondrous, creative, so that you can become who you crave to be. As writing all these things, I did make all the references in the world. I've made references to Harry Potter, I've made references to beautiful artists I have met who are becoming big in the world. And I've made all the connections, and I help the children really learn how to speak their mind the way they want to, how to come to that conclusion. And I turn it around and, have the adults read it, because, words, and in the first book, I say, words can be used to paint beautiful or scary pictures. Now, it's very true. You sit around a campfire, you tell ghost stories. But it's very different, if we're just treating it as an everyday thing. We cuss out our friends all the time, or we cuss when we get angry. But how would you think of it if you were at a board meeting and, you really paid attention to how you use your words so that you got, whatever was on the table passed or vetoed, to think that those words that you will speak actually matter to the point where you could win or lose, it really changes your mindset. It really makes you think about how to interact so that you can stay positive, so that you can't hold in worry or doubt. Um, there's a script that we had that's called "I will not play tug of war no more," and it is one of the most beautiful scripts that I've ever listened to, because literally it preaches how we will not, dabble in war and harm. We will just cuddle up and love and play and have all the fun things because life is fun. Um, so yeah, it's a beautiful realm, and we're pulling everything together. We're now fundraising for it. So my Kabuki book, which will fund the printing of the book and the illustrations of the book, but it will also fund the costs for making the actual puppets, for filming it, for us to get the necessary equipment that we need, for me to even get the equipment to actually do the audiobook myself, because I've come to realize that becoming a spoken word artist, I may as well do the audiobook anyway, because I'm I'm over here taking lessons in acting, so may as well act in the book anyway. So yeah, it's been quite an exciting year, and like literally, Aaron's opinion kickstarted it. Pun not intended. And really helped me boost myself into getting to where I am.
Well, I'm so glad. I'm so touched by it. I really, would it be fair for me to say that you just gave me a lot of information that I have a lot of questions and compliments and concerns
Yes,
about? Okay,
yes.
because I thought that was a lot of information. I was like, okay, whew, breathe, breathe, breathe. Okay, okay, finally a guest that'll talk to me. Great, great, great. I know you can talk, but okay, let's actually let me figure out where let me see if we can remember who we are here. Well, Troy, nothing is cooler for me as a content creator than knowing that I actually help someone else. I'm pretty convinced that the saying is true. Help one person today, help a million people tomorrow, right? Are you going to
Mhm.
help a million people, a million children around the world with this book?
Oh yes,
Then
definitely.
it
And
then
not
it
not even
then
not
it
even
work. Then
children, more than children, adults,
you know
everyone.
what? You know what, Troy? Troy, I've recorded a lot of cool stuff, and this is as cool as it gets. It really is, because now I'm seeing that my interest in creating content for to help others is actually helping. Eureka! This is finally the moment where I'm starting to actually see the rubber meet the road. So, of course, I have questions for you. So, one of my questions, and I'm sure that you aren't gonna. I mean, you really dove in, so I'm gonna just, meet fire with fire just to compliment you just as much. You probably know what I'm gonna say. You have several questions that I'm gonna say, and you know what they're gonna be right off the top. Number one, we have to make sure that the next guest of Aaron's opinion is that mentor of yours who's worked for Apple, blah blah blah, and George Lucas, and blah blah blah, and blah blah blah, and blah blah blah. Whoever that person is, okay, they need to come
Hmm.
here and talk to me, okay. And don't say, I don't want to hear the story about you were walking home and you dropped your phone in the gutter and now you forgot what his number is. Okay, we need to figure out who this person is and make sure that they are my next guest, because the fact that they're willing to work with you is so cool and so amazing that for me that's worth celebrating. For another, how Troy, I love talking. I love using my voice to educate people and make people have a better day. So you can anticipate that I'm going to say, how can I help with this project?
Well, you can share the link, which I will give to you. You can also become one of my backers, and you can spread the word. Get everyone that you know to pledge to it, because as I tell people, this is not to help. It's not to help me, because pledging to it and becoming a backer will help. But it's to give this to the children. And there's actually something I did forget. this is also going to be unlike any book because I am personally creating the soundtrack for the book. Yes, I have thought out the actual music. I thought out the every word will have a specific texture, a specific note, a specific color. Every one of it is planned out. Um, and will be coming together. And the reason for that is because it's been a long, long time since I've listened to an audiobook where there's actually been music. And I just came across one about a month ago, by Rick Riordan, called Daughter of the Deep. And there was beautiful music behind the book, during the fight scenes and everything. And I was shocked more than anything else. And it made me really listen to the book. So to imagine hearing, nieces and nephews taking turns reading this children's book to each other while they're practicing speaking over music, which will therefore help them learn how to properly speak, or learn that, hey, I want to become a narrator, or hey, I want to become a spoken word artist. I want to do poetry over music. I want to be as epic as Lindsey Sterling or Tina Guo or Hans Zimmer. Like, it's it's one thing I've learned to listen to someone reading a book. It's another to listen to someone doing it to music that's made for the book itself. And I come to realize that I need to do that. I need to make the like I've spent the last year creating soundtracks for my own books. Why would I not do that for this book to give to people? In fact, that's actually one of the rewards is that you get a signed copy of the book, and you also get a digital download of the music way before it hits the market, um, which is a beautiful thing, in my opinion. Because honestly, signed copy. Yeah, we're blind people. We don't know, but it's different because I intend on putting a brailled signature onto the book itself. Yes, that is me. I am doing that because hell, it's my book. I can do what I want with it, so I'm doing that, and I'm also going to be putting some raised illustrations in there for people to feel, to know that, hey, this is what this character feels like. This is how it's shaped, or this is what this scene looks like, in 3D. So there's a million and one rewards, for people to, say, oh yes, I will definitely, do this, getting this in return.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, and the other thing too that I want to learn more about is, so this is going to be a book, but then it sounds like the book will also be adapted into a television series for children, right?
Yes, it will.
Okay, now how does that work, by the way?
So especially nowadays, a lot of the major networks that do animation and such are actually using Zoom to do their TV shows, which I really never realized how people do these things until I started to learn it myself. So my director, since my character is such a massively powerful character, it will primarily be animated, but there will be Zoom conferences where we literally voice act, and I as a as a upcoming actor have learned to voice act, and learned that the major thing about voice acting is confidence and posture. One of my friends over in London is a brilliant, like you think he was the one who they hired to do all the Disney characters because he nails them so well. And he says, it's about changing your posture. It's about knowing your character. So like, I would be talking my natural voice, or I'd be going into this voice because I want to act around and have fun. Or maybe I'd be Dobby with a house elf who just doesn't know how to handle Harry Potter's Dobby Wonders. Where to begin? Or maybe I'd go
Yeah,
into
that was pretty close.
I'm the Joker. have a magic trick. I'm gonna make this pencil disappear. Da da da. It's gone. So it's like practicing all those, watching the movies over and over and over again. Because hey, it's fun to watch movies. Why not? Um, and really just becoming confident in making voices and weird wonky sounds. So that's what we do. We literally just today we just had a performance where I am the composer for our stuff, but I'm also the character. So I also get to act while I'm creating the soundtrack, which is not easy. But it's fun. And literally every scene that we did hit me hard because every scene really speaks to you as what we're going through. Same Side of the River was talking to me deeply. Stories from the Wells, All the World, the Creature stage. Actually, All the World, the Creature is one of my favorites because it talks about going to this massive performance, yet that performance is you. It's all within you. Welcome to Yokai Kokai Land is the amusement park of all amusement parks, like the first, the greatest, the brightest, the most beautiful. The character Bojangles says, "Welcome to Yokai Kokai, the granddaddy of all amusement parks." I can't do it as well as the actor or actress who plays him, but oh my god, it's beautifully orchestrated. It's fun, and it definitely takes you to a whole new level of awesomeness.
So that's really good. I mean, all of that is just getting better and better. So then, I mean, I'm guessing you're going to release the impression that you're giving is that you're going to eventually be able to release a print copy of the book, a braille copy of the book, an audio copy, and
Mm-hmm.
then a TV show adapted from the book.
Exactly.
This is all the type of project that I want to talk about and help out with and promote here on the channel. Because if there's anything that we can do here in 2022, and I'm saying here in 2022 because when you watch this, it will be the middle of July 2022 on the schedule. We're sitting in December 2021 at the end of the year, but actually this will be released in July. So now here, when we go back and watch this, now it's July of 2022. I mean, the one thing that I hope that we accomplish this year is at least if we can start to really help more people and really start to get the world under control. And I think that with this work that you're doing, this is, I mean, by no means will this provide all the solutions to humanity, but this will definitely get us going on the right, off on the right foot. And
Mm-hmm.
if there's any group of people that needs some positivity and deserves a better story, it's children, the children of the world. And I could not support this more. So I mean, this is all really, really, really incredible. So what tipped you over? What made your teapot boil right over? Where you just said, you know what, I'm just going to create a book and really dive right in head for it first, really.
So okay, that people actually ask a lot of really great questions, and I've come to realize that I do need to write an what's the audiobook. I need to write an autobiography about my life. I really do. I've always found my life to be boring, but over the
Not,
last
n- not at
few
all.
years,
Not at all. Your life is
yeah, exactly. Over the
your
last few
life
years,
your life is your life is fascinating. Okay, so let me help you. Okay, so the question was since you since you got a little. Okay, so let's so trying again. Okay, so what boiled your teapot over where you
right.
wanted to create a book? Okay, I'll ask
So,
about the autobiography later. Okay,
so yes, I was good. Yes. So the reason was because I hated reading. I hated it a lot, really, really
really,
bad. But
really.
yes, I really like when I say I was like eating vegetables to get me to read. It was bad. But when I turned 13, my the librarian uh, showed me an audiobook, and well, actually, not to lie, and not never seen one. Of course, I've heard them before, But for whatever reason, listening to the audiobook of the Phantom Toll Booth really just got me interested. And then she got me hooked onto Harry Potter. And from that point on, I couldn't stop listening to books. I had to have more. I had to just keep going. It's like it's like a drug to me. And then I realized I want to write. I want to create a book like J.K. Rowling. I want to do all these things. And one day, my friend pulled me aside in the hallway and asked me, hey, do you know this thing called the Indigo? And I said no. And when he looked it up, I did a little research, and that put me on the path to writing my uh, first book series called The Indigo. And then, three book series later, actually 2 book series later because I'm in the novella series. But while I was writing all that, this year, skipping ahead to this year, after I was here on Aaron's Opinion, I actually was in the middle of writing my novellas, and I was writing the Dance of Death novella. Hence why I went to writing, Katana's theme, Damon's theme, We Fly as One, uh, all these beautiful works of art after my book characters. And I was talking about writing my book in a clubhouse room, and my director, who I hadn't known was there, because I don't pay attention to who's where, uh, he messaged me. He was like, "Wait, why don't you write children's books on your character Kabuki?" And I said, "I have no idea how to write one. I don't know, but I did subconsciously know because I had the scene that we practiced with to go off on, and I listened to so many poets and spoken word people that I kind of had a basis for it. So, it was literally him. He commented on it one Friday. I let the seed sit in my head for the next 2 days. And then Sunday, I got up and I was like, you know what? I want to try this out. I want to see how this goes. So I texted him, and I spent the whole entire week writing. And he would message me back. He was like, "What are you doing? What are you doing? Why did it take you so long?" It's like, because I'm not done yet. I don't feel like I've accomplished anything yet, and I hadn't. But I accomplished more than I had thought I was going for. When I first started writing, I thought I was writing a 9-chapter book, when in fact, I was actually writing 9 books. Um, and the reason why was because I realized that I really wanted to cover all these different topics way before I said anything to anyone. And the books themselves would cover like between 10 and 15 pages. And, normal children's books are, they're about that long, maybe 30, but most are, between 4 to 10. And I really wanted the language of the book to really speak to the children, while the illustrations really got to them as well. So it was literally planting a seed, which is what the series is called, that got me into writing these children's books. And I honestly never thought I would. I'm pretty sure years ago I would have said I would never write children's books. But as always happens with me, I put my foot in my mouth and I just like, okay, well, let's see how this goes, because I'm a creative and I can never say no to creating something.
There we go. There we go. All right, now you wanted to talk about the autobiography. Go.
So that just ties in with this, because I haven't started that at all, and I
Well, why
probably
are you
won't for a
talking
while.
about?
Be-
Okay.
because no,
Well,
the reason why
I'm just
was
kidding.
because I know, but the reason why was because people have asked me how do you get into this, how do you get into that, and every time I explain, I always think that's a book on its own.
Yeah.
I say in the story part of my Kickstarter campaign that when I started music, that is a story by itself, because it really was. There were so many struggles I went through learning the cello, and then
Sure.
tops that was composing. That's a story by itself.
Right. 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 Well, that's really. I mean, this is really. This really fascinates me. And The same is true with being a podcaster or YouTuber in my case. When I got into this 2 or 3 years ago, I got into it because mainly because, as you know why, you kind of know why. I don't specifically know if I told you why, but I was concerned that there were a lot of podcasts around the blindness world that were just not open to people's opinions. And I'm someone who's open, and I'm someone who loves to teach and loves to talk and talk and talk and talk. Using my voice as an artist is what I want to do all day. It's really one of the happiest things that I do outside of work. And so I started the podcast. But, Troy, when this thing started out years ago, a couple years back, it was, we were covering topics about should I adopt a dog? These things start out somewhere and then they go someplace you would never imagine. I didn't know Aaron's opinion would get to this point where I would be talking about things that are going to have such an impact around the world. I couldn't have predicted it. Couldn't have predicted it, and I'm forever grateful for it. But I couldn't have never predicted it. So if you guys are ever at home wondering, hey, should I start this? Should I get into this? But what if I only have a small idea? Well, then a small idea is a huge one, and that's an idea worth pursuing. And that's exactly the magic of what you've discovered is that you just have to try. You just have to get into it and you have to take it step by step. And I would, as I said, I would love to speak to this. I would love to interview your boss, as you said, your mentors. I would love to interview that person here, because that would be such an absolutely fascinating conversation to mull over and philosophize. But yeah, that would be really uh, all really incredible. You have to start somewhere, and then you'll go somewhere else, and that's really the beauty, I think, of life and content creation. Who knows? We're sitting here right now when I'm talking. It's December. When you guys are going to watch, it'll be July, right? Who knows where the world will be then, right? Who knows what you will have
Hmm.
accomplished by then? So, but yeah, I think that this is. I could not have asked for a better idea. And the only better idea would be that somehow I'm able to help you with your book, which of course I am. But somehow I do wish that as time progresses, I'll get more privileges to do more of this content creation, voice acting, that type of thing. So seriously, man, if you have any ideas, and I know you do probably off the air, but any way for me to, know apart from me helping to share the project, if there's anything I can do to really participate and know that I actually physically had an impact on this content, I would truly be honored. Oh yeah, the other thing that I forgot to say and forgot to mention, but then I'm remembering it, so I'm not forgetting it. Is so are you? I forget. Are you following me on Clubhouse? Because I'm on Clubhouse.
Yes, I am.
Well, why was it? Well, why didn't anyone tell me about this? See this. So you've been following me all this time? Wow. Okay. Well, good. Well, great. Great. Okay. I see. I see. And is this mentor person? Is this someone that I know without realizing it, or is it
You
someone that I
might
have?
you might have seen him on Clubhouse. His name is IPC, or I Paint Creatures. So you might have run into him in some way, shape, or form.
You're saying I T
IPC. So I as in indigo, P as in person, and C as in creatures.
Indigo person IPC.
Hmm.
No, I don't. I don't think. But you're saying that that person is the mentor that's done worked for all these companies and has done all this
Yes.
stuff. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. As we say, let's talk off air. But let's see if we can get the connection over on Clubhouse. A lot of times, people want to connect over Clubhouse. That's become the
Hmm.
hush hush, the secret way. Hey, let's get secretly in contact. Let's get onto Clubhouse. Actually, the episode that's coming out tomorrow. Well, not tomorrow. Well, in reality, tomorrow the 30th is someone that I had to talk to over Clubhouse just to get her to come on. So yeah.
Hmm.
Well, that's so it's really important to maintain a Clubhouse presence and things like that. So anyway, this is all really incredible. And then where will someone be able to buy this product? I mean, that tends to be a huge question. Is it clear where this will all be sold, and how is that going to work?
So there will be you will be able to purchase them on Amazon,
Mm-hmm.
and you will also be able to purchase them directly from me. I will actually have physical copies that I will actually personally mail to people. I find, and actually, this is something that I've learned not from my mentor actually, but from my idol Tina Guo. So, Tina, if you're watching, know that I love you, and I'm, personally giving you a wave and a shout out. Anyway, but yes, she does this where she actually has her merchandise in her house. She has CDs of all her albums. She has T-shirts, chillabos, everything, and she will do these giveaways. Uh, and not even just giveaways, but she will just personally mail them out to the people who purchase the items. And I find that as one of the most humbling and beautiful experiences in the world, because it's no different, in my opinion, than you being a clerk at a retail store and ringing someone up. I love that experience a lot, and I intend on doing that myself as a creative person. So, um, you'll be able to purchase them through Amazon, but you will also be able to get them from me. And knowing me as a person, you will get special things in the packages themselves. So even when the Kickstarter campaign is over and done with, um, there will still be opportunity for people to get special gifts in the boxes. And honestly, as a creative, I'm still going to go down that realm of doing giveaways because giveaways are really fun. My friend just did one for Christmas where she gave away a April Alien T-shirt and a hat. Um, I'm not sure who won, but she did it, and they're really fun to participate in. So I'll be doing my own giveaways as well.
Right. Now, how does Kickstarter work? What is that? How does it work? It kind of reminds me of
Indiegogo.
Indiegogo. That's what it reminds me of. Yeah.
So Kickstarter, like Indiegogo, is a crowdsourcing platform where you, as a person, raise money for a project. Um, uh, I'm raising 9,000 for the book, because I have to pay for the equipment to do the audiobook. I have to pay for the equipment, for the braille display. Um, pay for the illustrations. There are things that I have to do, and what I love about Kickstarter and Indiegogo is that you can give rewards. So when you pay, you're getting something really great back. That the more you give. Um, you get the free copies of the book start by 25, and the higher you go, the more you add to it. The $100 tier is where you can get a signed copy of the book, and the $150 tier is one of my favorites because you get a signed copy of the book. You get stickers of the Funky Eye puppets, and you also get the digital download of the music, and then you also get a poster, and I think there's like one more other thing I'm forgetting. Um, but the 75 and $50 tier, you get stickers, posters, um, and the 200 you get a painting, a hand-done painting of the character Kabuki, and then 250 you get two paintings, and 500 you get an actual. Yeah, the prices go higher and higher, but the point of them is
well, of course.
to
Hopefully, someone will just give all their money to this.
the point.
So wait a minute. So wait, what happens? What happens if let's go with this equation.
Mhm.
What happens if I give you 100% of my wealth, assets, social security number? My house, my Swiss bank, my bank account in the Cayman Islands, the boat. Oh, did I tell you that I have a place in the Hamptons? What happens if I give all that? Then what?
Give me all of that, and you will most likely get, not mostly, you will get a return in investment, fivefold. Like,
Well, there,
because
there you go. So if
that
someone,
like
so
seriously.
right. So obviously, all of you at home picked up on the sarcasm. But if someone discovered that you needed to raise $9,000 and
Mhm.
they really and someone let's be serious. It's not me, and I'm being frank with you. It's not me
Mhm.
who has that chance. But there are very generous people. You'd be surprised. There are very generous people all over the world. Quite frankly, And as we say in the podcast business, quite frankly, it's not bragging if you can do it and you can prove it. But Aaron's
Hmm.
opinion is growing, and it is possible. You just never know. So yeah, I mean, so guys, give as much as you want and can, because you never know. I mean, this could really, as we say, if it only changes one life, it changed a million others, and I think that's truly, truly the point that you're stressing, and truly the type of person that you are. You are just as genuine as before. You're just as real as before, and I want to help you just as much as I wanted to help you before. And I must have helped you, because you know what? If you hadn't come to Aaron's opinion, I don't even remember when we recorded Cello, is what that episode was called. But if you hadn't come here, I don't think you would be in this position to be setting up a book right now. No, you wouldn't. No,
No,
you wouldn't.
no, I
No,
would not.
no, you would not. Right. So that's why people need to get the confidence to get into podcasting and start having these active thinking conversations around the community, because these are the conversations that we want to start celebrating. This year in 2022, as I'm sitting here in December of 2021, wishing and hoping that we can say, because it is going to be a great 2022. I promise you of that. And
Exactly.
well, of course, we got to talk about the lawyers, because that's a fun thing to talk about. Of course, you're working with a legal team, all sorts of lawyers and
Oh,
legalese
definitely.
stuff, right? How's that
Yes.
going?
It's been quite an experience because we had to sign um, non-disclosure applications, and when we first brought that to the table,
Right.
everyone was like, like, oh my gosh, what, do I have to get my legal team on this, and yada yada yada. But the point of the NDAs were so that we as creatives could still be, free to choose to stay, choose to leave. So long as we were, keeping whatever needed to be keeping, on the down low, not trying to make money or rip off any of the other actors or
Right.
trying to steal anything from our director, we'd be golden. Like, he wanted me to come to him and say, "Hey, I want to do a book on my character." He wants all of us to create books after our characters because he wants every one of us to tell our story, but to also really give ourselves to inspire to change, not just act, not just record music, but actually do all the things to really help change the mindsets of people. My one of the actors I'm working with, who has become a really good friend, um, she plays Lemonade, and she really does go into the I like to call it the Hestia of the group. Like she's one of the hearts of our group. She's really warm. She's a good mother figure, and she loves to really open people up to talk about their deep emotions. Their depression, their anxiety, and it really helps to talk about those things with the right kind of people. And she gives that kind of viewpoint. When she talks to her lemonade voice and she's all southern, it's so hilarious. And half the time that they're doing their thing and I'm sitting there, providing the music, I just want to break out and laugh because it's just so hilarious. There's another actress who plays the character Surprise. And I swear I love how she does the voice because it makes you really think of this fuzzy, cute little creature who's just all full of light and love and happiness, just wants to give you a great big hug. Um, all these people give these creatures life, and my director just really wants us to take them and to make them us and to really go far with them. So the NDAs, they terrified us at first, but they really made us think we have to buckle down. We have to keep going because, this is going to be the next Harry Potter, the next Star Wars. Actually, oh, this was something that I had to swallow, and I'm still digesting it. But a lot of people have started to call me the next J.K. Rowling. Now,
Yeah.
I love J.K. Rowling
Yeah.
Harry
Yeah.
Potter, but I could not swallow that. I couldn't. I
No.
couldn't
No.
get
That's
over. I couldn't. That's a
no. No
lot to
pun. No
take.
pun intended. That wand.
Exactly.
That magic wand is far too big for you to wave, or you
Exactly.
aren't going
Like
to fit in those robes, or as the real
exactly.
expression is, those are.
I'm not playing Quidditch with that broomstick. Like
No. There you.
there was no way I could truly like humbly say, "Oh, thank you," without bloody screaming. Like,
Yeah.
J.K. Rowling was the beginning for me.
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't.
Well, I
So
think, and I'm suspicious though that one of the things that will happen is, so aren't I a huge part of this then? If I'm giving you the chance to talk about, I mean, this is now like a major thing. If we're talking about it, then I have helped you to be successful with this
yes,
project
you
too.
have
So basically, this is really an incredible honor for me because I am helping the project with the book,
exactly.
indirectly by giving you the stage to to come and talk about it. And I think that's a tremendous privilege that I
And that's
graciously.
what that's what
Mm-hmm.
people are viewing. Like, it's not you yourself paying for it. It's you allowing me to come out with it, to express it, to like to give this kind of gift to the world through the same podcast where it all started.
Yeah,
Like,
that's really cool.
literally, like, it's where it all started. And now I can come and give all these different things that have come after this podcast. There's movements I've been a part of where we literally shout and scream everything is right about you, where we go to, like, there's a fundraiser for children over in Africa where that they are raising funds for children to go to school, and these children have had the ability now to take videos, and they have turned to each other and said everything is right about you. And it was it brought me to bloody tears to see that, and to know that they actually mean it. Like, there are so many things that I've seen that I've now belovedly become a part of that are changing the world slowly but surely. And this whole crew, we created what's called the inclusion crew, which is surrounded by people with disabilities. Like, I am one
Mm.
of them. A friend of mine who's paralyzed from the chest down, he's one of them. The lady who plays Lemonade, she's one of them. Like, all like there's like they're like he the director has no qualms about having people who have disabilities in there. He wants us in there because it's all about inclusion with the Funky Eye Puppets. It's all about knowing that no matter what color you are, no matter how tall or short you are, no matter what um, abilities you may or may not have, that you are a
Yeah.
part of something.
And that's, and that's so touching because I think I'm 30 years old now, and I think you're younger than me, or I forgot. Okay, you are. Okay, good.
Yes.
Okay, well, how old are you again, Troy? I
I
forget.
am 23 now.
Yeah, you're the same age as my brother. Yeah, wow. You certainly are wiser than you're a lot wiser than your years. Let me tell you. If more 23-year-olds, by the way, if more 23-year-olds had your level of motivation, boy, we'd be in a much better place.
Yes, I know. Oh,
Because God, because you
trust
are
me, I
you are
know.
the you. I mean, you're like you are motivated, and not only are you motivated, but you're dedicated, and you actually understand the stuff that now that I'm 30 and looking back, gee, wish I had understood. Your motivation is the motivation that I could have used when I was 23 and chose not to. Now, that's in the past and I've overcome it with working hard, and this podcast has overcome that now, but the fact is your level of motivation is truly touches me, and it just makes me look up to you as a leader, and as just as someone that the world is going to be very, very, very appreciative. So I appreciate you, Troy, from the bottom of my heart to yours. I really, you know, I forget. Well, I shouldn't say I forget, but actually, I was just having a conversation. Um, who was it now? Oh, for goodness sake! Oh, I know who it was. I know who it was. It was now you don't know it now because it hasn't aired, but before this episode, the episode that will come out that came out before this one will air. I just sat down with a new great friend here in the community. You saw him, Wasim, you know, and that
Oh
level
yeah.
of yeah, okay, you should talk to that person too because that's another person with a lot of motivation and kindness. It's just the kindness just spills, it just spills right out of you. It's like when I talk to you, it's like someone like basically took a surgical knife and put it to you and just opened you right up, gave you a big old incision, and all your blood just turned into kindness and poured out all over the universe. Okay, that's what happened. That's what you are
Mm,
as a spiritual person, and that's the type of person that we should say I love you. We love you around the world, and I mean it because we need more you is what we need in this world. We need more of your motivation, and we need more of your ideas because you never know when a dream might just come true. And you know what? Everybody says, that we should try to make a dream come true. Well, the only promise I can keep on Aaron's opinion is that a dream really will come true. And I tremendously hope that.
I guess this is where I should probably drop the fact that I will, not now, but later down the line, be starting my own cello. Oops. I love that. I will be starting my own cello line, and I will be changing the way that music works in the world. Um, and what I mean by that is I will be changing the color scheme of traditional instruments. I've brought it up with some of my friends and acquaintances, and most of them are like, "What? Really? That's awesome!" One or two are like, "Why?" But the reason is because, like you said, it's 2022. They're like there are guitars that are a million and one colors, that are guitars that glow in the dark, that light up. Why can't cellos do that? Why can't violins do that? Why can't trumpets do that? Tubas? I like I said, my blue cello here. First cello I've ever seen that was blue, and I just last couple months I've been like, you know what? I'm going to change the way that cellos and violins and all the rest just look. I want a violinist to walk in a store, look at a green violin and say, that's me. That's who I am. I want a pianist to go into a store and see that there's a piano there that has all the colors on the rainbow on the keys. Every row of keys is a different color and be like, okay, I'm a rainbow person. That's me. There should be these things. It's not, taboo or sacrilege or anything like that. It's just modernized. I want and will create the first oceanic orchestra where the orchestra is in the ocean. They are either underwater or in the water, and their instruments are waterproof. That will be a thing. It's 2022. It should have been a thing already. It may or may not be, but if it's not, then I will do it because these things express who we are. My cellos express who I am. My hair expresses who I am. But to have an instrument that makes a statement way before you even play it, that's what really counts because it speaks for you way before you even open your mouth, way before you put your fingers on the keys, way before you put the bow in your hand. It speaks for you, and there should have been already, but I'm going to make it available for people to just walk in a music store and be like, okay, I want that.
Well, Troy, I mean it. We love you, and you need to keep doing this. This is you're someone that's on the right track in your spiritual journey. You're on the right track in life. You also need to find. I'm sure you already have. Don't tell me who they are, but I'm sure you've already found a patent lawyer. You're going to need to get one of those for sure. You know what that is, right?
Yes, I do.
Oh, okay.
And we do have one, so
Good.
it's okay.
You're gonna have to have something like that. But, whew, well, it's all so good. I don't. It's all so good. I don't have anything more to much more to say apart from thank you. And that what I want to know is really what is how much further can this go? I mean, what is really your ultimate dream? And then, of course, I want to tell you that on this particular recording, as we sit here now, I got. Here's what I want you to do. In one sentence, I want to push you as a composer here a little bit. In one sentence, I want you to tell me what your ultimate dream for your project here is, and then I want you to ask me one question, as I'm sure you've been following Aaron's opinion, one question to really make me sweat to see if I'm worth my salt as a podcaster. And then we'll call it an outstanding episode as always. But go right ahead.
In one sentence, I can honestly say that the dream is for this to imbue all the universes, not just this one, but all of them. I want this to last lifetimes, to be remembered, to be sketched in stone. That's the dream, is for this to be remembered long after everyone is dead and gone. Like, long after.
So you want to make sure, and we're going to do everything we can here. I'm going to do everything I can at Aaron's opinion to make sure that this episode, as always, is published. As I said, in the July, it's going to come out one of the weeks of July. I think the 14th. I'm not sure. Probably the 14th. But we want to make sure that people know about this. And so, how about this? I tell you what. Give me the where can someone go if they want more information and if they want to support the campaign? Where do they go? And then I'm going to say click the link in the description.
Mm-hmm. So you can go to Kickstarter.com and while you're there, you can look up Cello Phoenix and you will find the A Tale to Tell children's series campaign, and that's where you go to pledge. Like you said, the link will be there, and I'll personally send Aaron the link so he can give it to anybody and everyone. And that is where that magic will happen.
Oh, beautiful! I love the way you ended that. Do you have any and then the question part, the question to make me sweat to see if I'm really worth my salt.
Let's see. Good. Okay. After everything you've experienced, especially including today, did you ever think that you were going to stop Aaron's opinion? Whether that would have been yesterday, whether that would have been 7 years from now, did you ever plan on stopping Aaron's opinion?
No. Because I love my guest like you. And I love every guest, and I love helping them to make one more life better. So absolutely not. How about that?
That is the right answer, because literally, like every creative I've ever met, it's not a hot. Oh my gosh! Now I'm about to quote. I'm about to quote lines from the scene itself, where this art is not a hobby. That's literally one of the lines that in one of our scenes, and it's true. This is not a hobby for us. It's our way of life. It's our therapy. It's the way we express ourselves, but also the other people who just can't express themselves. Yeah. And this is my personal message to all the viewers. If you think for 1 second that you cannot become the next Tina Guo or Hansem or Aaron's opinion for that matter, or Cello Phoenix or anyone, know that you can only be as good as you allow yourself to be. If you believe that you can reach a star, then you will. It took me 7 years to realize that was the truth. It took me 7 years of playing cello on my own with no teacher. And, coming on Aaron's opinion, being here last year and now, it's one of those serendipitous moments that you can't say is not meant to be. Like literally, I've learned being on Clubhouse to follow your gut. You have to follow your gut. When you feel a pull to go somewhere, you do it. When I sent my message into the WhatsApp group for Aaron's opinion, I felt the gut feeling to do it. And then when he asked to come on the show, I was like, yes, because it was a gut feeling I knew I needed to do. So follow your gut. No matter what your brain may say, if your gut tells you to do it, then it is the right thing to do, because whether it is good or bad. It's an experience that you yourself can learn from. Never view your
Oh, so good.
experiences as good or bad. They are learning ones.
Man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man. That was so perfect. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, don't watch this show. But ladies and gentlemen, that was perfect. I mean, I'm compliment. No, 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 no. I'm compliment. Okay, actually, I think I mean, I'm lying a little bit because I'm kind of complimenting myself only because I'm so impressed by you. So you're such an impressive guest, and I'm so touched to have you on such an impressive podcast. You should be very proud of yourself. All right, everybody. So let's wrap it up right here. Cello Phoenix, our great friend Troy Thomas. God bless you, man. Don't forget, click that Kickstarter link right here in the description. And this was another incredible episode. Thank you so much, everybody. Stay safe, everybody. And as we like to say, as I usually like to say in the outro, but I'll say it right here on YouTube, help one person today, help a million people tomorrow.